Welcome to the Wrestle Factor Podcast. Sorry, it's not that enthusiastic this week.
It's later than usual.
It's a bit late in the day. Well, late in the evening. Anyway, I'm Josh. With me is my brother Jay, as always.
What's up?
Welcome to episode 12. Got quite a bit to talk about today because, if anyone cares, we weren't here last week. Jay was out of town for 4th of July. She couldn't make time to record, but oh well, we're here this week. We'll try and catch up on our opinions.
Some needed time off.
Some needed time off, I agree.
Yeah,
I got a vacation coming up myself. I'm excited to take some time off.
Yeah.
I'm going to Iowa for a concert. Going to see Static X if anyone's interested.
What part of Iowa?
Sioux City. I don't know where in the state that is, but it's about a 6.5 hour drive from here.
Oh, that's not too bad. I've been to Des Moines a couple times.
Yeah.
Des Moines not bad.
I'm excited to go.
Yeah.
It was either that or Dallas, and
No.
We've been to Dallas before. We went for Mania 32. I don't recommend driving to Dallas.
Honestly,
It's not fun.
Honestly, the only bad part about that trip was WrestleMania security.
I don't want to talk about that again. Long story short, they took forever to get everyone in. We missed over half the pre-show. It was hot as balls.
Basically, we stood outside, and about a quarter till the show starts, we looked behind us, and all the people that were behind us were gone.
They've already been put in.
Because they just kind of scurried them off to the side, not telling anybody.
Right,
So.
they didn't explain what was going on, but
overall, the show was
regardless, the show was great. But yeah, excited for vacation. Anyway, what we got to talk about today, we have our first potential quote-unquote fan. You'll understand the quotes in just a moment. Going to talk about the 24/7 title, the SmackDown Women's title, the Intercontinental title, the Tag Team titles, and then finally, Extreme Rules.
Get our predictions for that.
To start us off, this quote-unquote fan, it's not meant to be derogatory in any way. It just, we have this guy, or this account,
Yeah.
more appropriately, called Norwal Music, that has commented on a few of our videos, giving positive feedback. I'll say that.
Very
at least
positive.
complimentary.
But also kind of generic.
It's, I just have a strong feeling it's not actually run by anybody.
Yeah.
Or like at least whatever's interacting with videos is not actually being run by a person. It's just, great content. I'm going to watch more of it for a while, this and that. You don't watch an audio-only podcast, so...
Yeah. Good. Yeah, fair point.
If it is real, my apologies, and thank you very much for watching our videos.
I mean,
But-
challenge to if that account
Yes,
is
I'm
real.
issuing a challenge. Norwal Music, if you are a real person, subscribe and comment the password of the day, Chupacabra.
Yeah, sure.
So if he comments Chupacabra on the videos, we know he's real.
Chupa thing.
Chupa thing. So, on to the titles. The 24/7 title.
Mm-hmm.
It's been fairly good television since it started, somewhat. I feel like I need to get this out there. I am a little bit tired of it.
Same. I expected for more people to have it by now.
I just, my main issue is, and it's been evident with this week, that they just resort to the same kind of segment where it's the champion is hiding backstage and all the undercard have one spot in the segment where they all just like run and chase after him, or think they're chasing after him, but no one's too smart to realize that they're not chasing after anyone and they're just looking for him. Whatever. I want to see something a little different now. If this is going to be something that's on every Raw and every SmackDown, sometimes multiple times a show, I want something a little different. Let me see someone get knocked out with a chair, or because it's not just Truth and Maverick that's in this undercard. You have a lot of guys. You got Robert Roode. You had Gallows and Anderson for a while. You got Cedric Alexander. You got Jinder Mahal. Like, you can work with all of them.
It's like out of all the people that you could be using this belt with, you're using the general manager of 205 Live.
And
like technically not even an active wrestler.
He is and isn't. They were keeping those two characters separate, but now they're kind of like blurring the lines a bit with this. But like I said, you have more than just those two, and I understand they both have a comedy aspect to their character, and that makes it work. But going back to the same point, you're just doing the same stuff every week.
Pretty much.
I don't care about Drake Maverick's honeymoon or his marriage or that he hasn't consummated it. What a loser, right? His wife must be really fun to hang out with.
He pees his pants and his wife isn't great. Yeah.
So,
well.
I want to see more of a competition for this title.
I like to, complain about this, but at the same time, I watch the Hulu version of Raw, so I get a lot of stuff cut out, and most of the time, the 24/7
It's because
title.
most of the time it's not important.
But also at the same time, I can't tell you the last time I saw the Revival or the Usos.
To be fair, I haven't seen them much either. They were on Raw this week in a 2 out of 3 Falls match.
Apparently.
Another one.
Yeah, apparently.
But
a 6-man tag where one fall happened. I think they went to a commercial break and they came back, and then it technically turned into a handicap match because Elias left or something to that effect.
I was so bored by this week's Raw, I don't remember what happened.
Same. I watched the cut down version and still skip stuff.
After the great improvement they had last week, this week was just a complete letdown. Strong opening match.
Yes.
I love Andrade and I love Seth Rollins, and them in the same ring together was perfect.
Like, honestly, is there something so bad with wanting to see wrestling on a wrestling show?
There's nothing bad with it at all.
Like, can you not fill 3 hours with actual competition?
No, because they fill a 3-hour pay-per-view with competition.
Still. Like, honestly, looking back, Stomping Grounds was a good pay-per-view, just mostly because of how low the expectations were for it.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, my rating for it was that, like, this is what an average episode of Raw should be.
Right.
Like, there was some good moments, some good action, nothing too crazy, but, like, it was just competition throughout. Like,
Right. And I fully expect them to save the good stuff for the pay-per-view, just as NXT does.
Yeah.
NXT, like, they put on really good matches on the weekly TV, but TakeOver is a whole nother level.
But a takeover also happens, like, 2 or 3 months apart from each other.
They have 5 a year.
Whereas with WWE, we've had WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, Super Showdown, Stomping Grounds, and now Extreme Rules, all within a 3-month span?
Well, WrestleMania was beginning of April. It
Yes.
is now 3 months later.
Yes.
So we've had
We've had 5 shows.
Mania, Money in the Bank, Super Showdown, Stomping Grounds, and now Extreme Rules. So 5 shows in 3 months.
Exactly.
And then SummerSlam is in a month from now.
Exactly.
So I've always thought they do too many pay-per-views anyway. I think you should keep it the big 5 and then like
Because
a couple more.
I feel like that's the problem. You're trying to get from big show to big show, and the weekly television just becomes filler at that point. Whereas NXT, it's like anything can happen on a week-to-week basis.
Right.
It usually doesn't, but there's still big episodes from time to time.
Yeah.
Like there's
been a 5-star match on NXT TV.
Yeah.
Not a takeover.
Like a few years back.
According to Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, like a few years back, I think it was Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was the opening match, and they were, they had this whole thing where it's like it was the opening match, and then they were like advertising other matches for the rest of the show, but Sami versus Samoa Joe just kept going on and on. It's like something like that wouldn't happen on Raw. Or
right.
SmackDown.
They very much plan out how little time a match is going to get, and they don't go any longer than that.
Which I both love and hate that, because like, okay, I'm expecting an actual episode of NXT, and this match just kind of keeps going on. It was about halfway through the show when I realized like, oh, this match is just going to go for the entire show.
And that's how you can make it feel more like an actual sports product.
Yeah.
If you watch an NFL game, like you can go on your TV guide and see that this game is set to last 3 to 3.5 hours. And if that 3.5 hour mark comes and you still have got 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they don't just cut off the game.
Yeah.
They let it keep going.
Yeah.
They don't like
the NFL
they don't restrict it to this time frame, and then they've got to get it done in that time frame or it's over.
Yeah, like the NFL figured that out like back in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole incident about that, like cutting a game short.
Yeah.
But yeah. With WWE, where they know that it's fixed or whatever you want to say. I'm not gonna say fake because that's what everybody says.
Yeah.
but fixed.
That's a whole other podcast
fixed,
on its own.
Predetermined, even scripted,
Choreographed, even.
I don't like to think of choreographed.
That makes it sound like it's a whole like interpretive dance or something.
Yeah. you can say planned, I would say. Like, there's no way they have time to structure a match and practice it, point by point. It's like they're just way too busy.
I just go with predetermined.
Exactly.
Because even the match itself is not planned out to the move. Some of it is on the fly.
What do you do in a like dance routine that's fully choreographed, but in the middle of it somebody like snaps their ankle?
You pretty much go on without them, if possible.
Exactly.
Find a way to get them out of the performance, or it just depends on the situation.
Like you either have to stop, or if you're in a group or something, they just kind of shoot them off while the rest of the show goes on.
Yeah,
it's basically the same thing in wrestling. If something goes wrong, you kind of have to figure something out. Like you either call the match or
like I was recently reminded of a match that happened. I don't remember how long ago it was. It was fairly recent. Neville versus Chris Jericho. I think it was on Raw. I think he broke his ankle.
Yeah.
During the match, or something to that effect.
And he was trying to tell
Jericho
to go to the finish.
Yeah.
But apparently
Jericho was trying to communicate with the referee that he was injured, and they had to like change the match on the fly because Neville got hurt.
Yeah.
But stuff happens, you know what I'm saying? So we got way off topic.
Yeah, I can't remember what the point was.
We were originally talking about the 24/7 title and how we're just the booking is a little stale at the moment.
Yeah. Need some new faces with that title.
We've said this before. Put it on someone that it's going to be hard to take it from.
Exactly.
At least for a little while.
Yeah, put it on like Strowman or something.
Maybe not Strowman, because they've very much pushed him as someone that is very difficult to beat. I don't feel like the 24/7 title is going to do him any favors.
I would say put it on Joe, but he would still lose it somehow.
Yeah. Well, he got rolled up for the U.S. title all the time, or while holding it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Speaking of titles that don't really make a whole lot of sense, the SmackDown Women's Championship match for Extreme Rules is a 2-on-1 handicap match. That in and of itself is just confusing.
The whole booking for this title storyline is crazier than Nikki Cross in NXT.
Yes.
Ironically.
And I watch a lot of Wrestle Talk, and Ollie on there he's kind of put it very, very clearly and like very understandably, is that a good storyline is one that is dictated by the characters. This is one where the storyline dictates the characters. Basically, yes. These are people that are just put into roles regardless of what their gimmick is or what they're known for.
Yes. And
they're just like, you could have anyone in its place. Basically, you wrote the storyline with complete disregard of who's in it. And I agree with that, because this is not Nikki Cross's character. Sorry if the mic screwed up there.
Bumped it.
Anytime I bump the cable, anyway.
Yeah.
But this is not Nikki Cross. I will say it is very much Alexa to a degree. Yeah. She is very manipulative. She was like that with Natalya and Nia Jax.
Nia Jax, Mickie James. To a certain extent, Alicia Fox.
Pretty much anyone she's tagged with, but...
Which, at the same time, kind of makes her stale.
Yeah.
Because, for whatever reason, they're just not letting her wrestle on a consistent basis.
When she was drafted to the main roster and she became SmackDown Women's Champion, she was like, a force to be reckoned with. She was actually a wrestler.
Exactly.
Actually showing her skill. But no, my two main problems with this handicap match is A, fundamentally makes no sense. How can two people be on the same side for a singles title? And Nikki Cross wants to say we're going to be co-champions. You've got tag team belts for that.
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense.
Which they can't even book right.
Why, if you were going to try and make two people the same champion, why would you make it on a singles title instead of the tag titles?
I don't know. It just makes me think, by the way, technically not a first time ever co-champions. Because back in I think it was 2009, 2010, Lay Cool were the co-women's champion.
Oh, yeah.
which
that wasn't really a time period I was watching.
Which was incredibly stupid because they somehow had like a tug of war where the belt broke in half. And so they each had like a half of the belt. It made no sense. No. It was pretty dumb.
Anyway.
But yeah.
My other issue is that, and I was telling you this as we were watching SmackDown earlier, that everyone keeps trying to tell Nikki that, Alexa's manipulating her, you're going to get hurt, like she's lying to you and you don't see it, like how are you okay with this? How much does it take of her being stubborn for you to just be like, you know what, go ahead, just do whatever you want and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about?
Pretty much.
Everyone has been trying to convince her that Alexa's going to hurt her, but no one has gotten tired of like her just being stubborn.
Yeah.
This is the point where I would go, you know what, fine.
Go jump on the network.
If you
do a little research.
Like all you have to do is go back and do you even watch wrestling? Are you a fan at all? Like,
yeah.
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah. Also,
Bayley at some point should have said just that.
Also, it's just being incredibly blurred between like who's supposed to be the good guy and who's supposed to be the bad guy.
Well, I think Bayley's supposed to be the baby face and Alexa's the heel. And I said this to you as well. I think Nikki is just getting caught up in the moment. She's not trying to be a bad guy, but she feels like Alexa is her friend, and is therefore, because she's siding with the heel, she's kind of getting treated like one.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to try and make Nikki Cross like this naive person, then like try and make that come across a little more.
She just looks stupid.
Exactly. It's like the fact that she is being told by everybody that Alexa isn't, really her friend for whatever reason. And, just going through all this. Also getting, a title match for Alexa, winning the, option to get the stipulation for Alexa, just so she can put herself in the match. It's like, I don't know. It makes no sense.
Alexa wasn't even on TV this week either.
Exactly. Like, why would you get a title opportunity for someone else? That does not make any bit of sense in this world or any other world.
I agree. I think it's dumb. Okay, I guess this one isn't really it's not like it doesn't make sense or anything. Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura back on TV. They had a match on SmackDown. Good match. I liked it.
Decent little match, yeah.
But Finn Balor is a chump.
Finn Balor wins IC title. It's not on TV for a month. Comes back to TV.
Loses to Shinsuke.
Loses to Shinsuke Nakamura, who's been on of TV for even longer.
And when he was on TV, he was losing.
Exactly. So it's like, what is...
I don't want to get too critical, just because this could possibly be some story thing, something. I don't know. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, because it's not like they've just been booking something and they just went back on it completely.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing, so I'm not gonna be that harsh on it. I just, as you said, Shinsuke hasn't been on for a while, and then he just beat one of the champions.
Okay. The thought just crossed my mind.
Okay.
Okay. Thought just crossed my mind. I think if they are able to do this well, maybe we could get a double turn where Shinsuke becomes a face and Finn becomes a heel.
I want to see heel Finn.
Yeah. I watched a video a while back where they were doing the history of the Bullet Club and showing Prince Devitt at the time.
Yeah.
Being a heel character, he's good at it. He's obviously working in Japan. He can be very stiff in the ring, and he's not bad on the mic if he has something to go with. If he's not just smiling Finn Balor, everybody loves him.
Every promo right now is that I'm a fighting champion.
I'll kick your arse. All that crap. It's no. It's plus, I think
he's just I'm a good guy and I'm gonna beat you.
Exactly. I think Shinsuke has kind of gone through the whole heel character. They've tried stuff with him. And
it was cool at first. It hasn't done anything for him.
There was a lot of stuff that they could have gone with, but they just never really capitalized on it. You know?
See, I love a heel turn when it results in the person not taking anyone's crap anymore, and it leads to a title run, a good title run.
Daniel Bryan,
CM Punk, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just the IC title curse of you win it, you lose every match.
Yes.
Except the occasional title defense.
I'll go as far as to say even the mid-card title curse, because even the United States title, for anyone that's not John Cena, hasn't done anyone any favors.
No. Unless you're the world title, they don't care.
Even then, sometimes. Depends on who's holding it.
Pretty much. I don't know.
But
hopefully it'll, turn into something.
hopefully.
I think it's kind of dumb that out of nowhere they just threw this match together on TV with like no build or whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you could have easily made a entire pay-per-view feud out of these two, and it could have been fantastic.
Which makes me wonder, since Shinsuke beat him, is if there's going to be an IC title match at Extreme Rules. Maybe.
Yes and no. Hope for that, because there's already plenty of stuff on the show.
And also...
And there's a lot of stuff that's going to, just weigh it down already.
And also, if the Iconics are going to defend against the Kabuki Warriors, because they were going to supposedly have a match on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we won't have the match tonight, but it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. But they felt the need to sneak that in after having not mentioned it for 2 weeks. They snuck that in on the Go Home show.
2 weeks ago, there was a backstage segment where they said that they were going to have a match that wasn't even going to be on TV, where if they win, they'll get a number one contendership.
Which, kudos to them for actually following through with that.
Yeah.
I don't know why they made anything that's not SmackDown. Like, they made a live house show part of the storyline. I don't get that.
It was in Tokyo.
But at least they followed through with it.
It was just, they were Japanese, they were in Japan. That's the basis of it. It's probably why they don't really care about it. It's like, we were just doing that for fun. It's not going to really lead to anything. The women's tag titles aren't really going to lead to anything. So, yeah. Which, one of these days, I'm still going to try and rebook the women's Road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, we, side note, quick detour before we get back to what we're going to talk about. We want to do fantasy booking on the podcast, and that is one of the topics we want to do, is booking, excuse me, I got hiccups, booking the women's division Road to WrestleMania 36.
Just completely redoing it.
Like both titles, and then the tag titles, maybe anything else, any other side feuds on the way.
All the main women's feuds from the beginning of the year to WrestleMania.
Yeah, basically Royal Rumble through, or just whatever, who cares?
Yeah. Whatever
culminates in Mania 36.
Yeah.
That's just one. I've got a couple other ideas. You probably got some too, but that's something we want to do once in a while. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of tag titles, we had a confusing bit on SmackDown. The SmackDown Tag Title Summit was what they advertised it through the night.
Yes.
I was lost from the get-go because I had no clue what a summit was supposed to be, because they said all three teams were going to be there, and then there was going to be a triple threat right after featuring one member from each team. So I was like, okay, they're just going to get in the ring and do like a face-to-face thing. They're going to what?
See, I understand the confusions. Like, they could have easily just announced the match, and they could have all just done their promos like they did, which would have been way easier, instead of being like, they're going to be face-to-face, times two. And
which,
then
that's some kind of stupid thing they would have loved to advertise. The teams are going face-to-face tonight before a triple threat.
Yeah.
They would have done something stupid like that.
Exactly.
But for a show that loves to do, I don't know what you would call it, like, they love to call things simple names or do simple stuff, and they love to repeat it constantly.
The first time ever.
Why would you call it a summit and not explain what a summit is?
I don't know.
A term that they don't use ever, that is not used in wrestling.
I don't know.
That's what I had no problem with the segment itself. I thought it was great. They all had good promos, good triple threat match.
Yeah.
But advertising it made no sense to me, and it was just confusing. I just didn't like that.
Like I said, they should have just advertised the match.
What happened was pretty much what I was expecting. but they did not clarify that.
The whole segment and match was fine. Them advertising it should have been better.
Right.
They should have just advertised the triple threat and then just done the segment the same.
Yeah, you could have just had them out there to do their promos without needing to say they were going to come out there and do their promos.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. I'm done talking about titles and how they don't mean anything or how confusing they are.
Yeah.
Let's get on to some Extreme Rules predictions to end out the show. We're already almost a half hour into this thing.
Yeah, we got a lot to get through here. But a lot of these should be pretty cool.
I did just remember that I forgot to write down one match, the Cruiserweight title.
Probably going to be on the pre-show.
Um,
Well, since you forgot that one, do we want to just jump in with that?
Yeah. Drew Gulak versus who?
Tony Nese.
Tony Nese. Huh? Oh, and a rematch.
Because automatic rematches aren't a thing anymore.
Well, I'm just going to assume that he earned his title.
Gulak.
Gulak.
Everything that, Enzo Amore has, gotten into, it's like that'll still be one of the best promos where he just runs down the 205 live roster.
I've never, once I found out, what kind of person Enzo is, off camera, and he's still that obnoxious dweeb, that little bit still was hilarious to me, where he just, ran through the whole Cruiserweight division and sold them one by one. It was gold.
He's good. He got them all.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll start with the Cruiserweight Championship. I've got my pick. Do you have yours?
Yes.
Okay. Who do you have?
Gulak.
Same as me. For obvious reasons, he just won the title.
Yeah, I think I said it on our last predictions, but since Buddy Murphy left, I think 205 Live needs that monster heel champion, basically. Right. That can just go through anybody.
Yeah. And we mentioned this before. He did his short little stint through NXT, and it was really good.
Yeah.
His couple matches with Kushida. Okay, next up, Aleister Black versus Cesaro, a match that was just announced.
Yep.
On the Go Home SmackDown. I've got my pick. Do you have yours?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going with Aleister Black.
Me as well.
Okay.
There's no way that they're going to hype up Aleister Black for the past, 2 months?
This is someone they've actually built up for not just weeks, but months now.
Exactly.
They're not just going to put him in a match with someone who's been wrestling on the undercard, basically.
Yeah.
And make him lose.
I think Cesaro, even though he can be underutilized a lot, they still can trust him to, put on a good match. And especially with somebody like Aleister Black, I think that's going to be... It should be a show stealer if given the time.
Yeah.
I think
this or one other match, I think, will be the show stealer. We'll get on to that in a second. Okay. Next up, Roman Reigns and The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. A match I couldn't care less about.
My prediction is I will be bored the entire time.
The same here. I will say, though, that I'm not sure who I think is going to win.
Is the prediction who we think is going to win or who we hope will win?
Who we think is going to win.
Okay.
It's tough to pick because I'm pretty much basing my decision off of rumors I've heard for SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I have my
pick.
I have mine as well. Who do you have?
McMahon-McIntyre.
Me too.
Fine, I'll go with Reigns Undertaker, just so we're different. We need some diversity here, or else it's pointless.
Dude, there's only 3 matches in. Come on now.
Yeah, but still. Who knows? This could be the deciding factor.
I've picked Shane and Drew because the rumor is supposedly that it's going to be Drew versus Taker at SummerSlam.
God, I hope not.
And
God, I hope not.
I just feel like it'll be booked better if Drew and Shane get a win here.
I have not watched an Undertaker match since WrestleMania 33. Oh, 34 technically.
You didn't watch Super Showdown?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay.
I have not
Be glad
watched.
you didn't.
I have not watched Crown Jewel.
Don't waste your brain power on it.
I have not watched Super Showdown. I don't even want to watch this.
I don't either.
I don't care for Shane.
There's
Drew McIntyre.
There's a few matches I do want to see, but
I don't care for Shane. Drew McIntyre has been dragged through the mud being associated with him. Roman Reigns, I'm still not too big on. Mostly because he's just been stuck in this feud.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns has been stuck in this feud since before WrestleMania.
That's the power of Shane McMahon. He makes you care less about the people that he's involved with, not just himself.
Exactly.
I don't care about anyone.
And The Undertaker, he should have retired back at 33. Like, the
Money.
How?
Why do you think he's fighting Shane? Here comes the money.
Why does he need money? What has he done? He's been with the WWE for 29 years.
Hey.
Has he not made enough money?
Maybe he just likes the smell of fresh money. I don't know.
He's a dead man. He can't smell it all. What's the next match?
Next up is a last man standing match between Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. I have given no thought to this match either. I think I know who the WWE wants me to pick.
Yeah, I think I know who I want.
Okay. I am going with Strowman.
I'm going with Lashley.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. There's part of me thinking that keeping Strowman off TV this week will, make him stronger going into it since Lashley had a match. So that'll be an excuse. But there's also part of me thinking, like, that's the reason they had Lashley on TV, was to help build him up so, people would believe that he could beat Strowman.
Right.
It's like, oh, he did that and he's just back, just no selling.
I just feel like
no
they have a real affinity for making Braun look superhuman.
Yeah.
And for them to have the spot last week where he speared Lashley through the LED board on the stage, neither of them can get up. Lashley cut a promo the next night for SmackDown, but no word from Strowman. And now Lashley was on Raw, seemingly fine in a match, no Strowman. That's just going to put him over even stronger if Strowman comes back and beats Lashley. True. Which is where I think they would rather go with that story.
Which I will give it to them. Anytime that they
build up Bobby and put him in like a title picture, I don't want to see that.
Yeah. I will give it to them. The slightest bit of consistency WWE has had. Usually, anytime they have some crazy moment with Strowman, like being thrown in the back of an ambulance and being crashing it into a semi truck or putting him in a garbage truck or whatever, they've given him a week. It's like, oh, he's just gone for a week, but then he's back.
But then he spears someone through a wall and he's out, man. Can't do it.
Well, he got speared through the LED board, so he's gone for a week. But he'll be there on Sunday.
And into the pyro.
Yeah.
How fragile are all your electronics? If someone gets speared through a wall and into the area, it all just blows up.
It blows up and keeps blowing up for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it felt like it just kept going.
You got some old surge protectors or something, dude. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Next match, we have a match I didn't know was happening until we were watching SmackDown. The Raw Tag Team Championship, I should say. The Revival versus the Usos.
I honestly don't know. I never see these guys.
Tell you what, you're first to go. So whoever you pick, I will go with the opposite.
Why not have the Usos be champions? I'll still never see them.
Pretty much. So are you going with the Usos?
Yes, I'm.
Okay, that means I'm going with the Revival. This is literally just a coin toss for me.
Can the Revival just leave and go to AEW already?
Nope, they are under contract.
Well, get out of it.
All right, next.
Next.
This is the other candidate for match of the night for me. The United States Championship. Excuse me, had another burp. Ricochet versus AJ Styles. Who do I think is going to... I've got my pick. Do you have yours?
Yes.
I'm going with AJ Styles.
Me too.
Because I think that's why they turned him heel. I think it plays into him winning the title because Ricochet took it from a heel. They don't want a babyface then beating Ricochet for it. That might not have been the entire reason they turned him heel.
Unfortunately, saying that Ricochet might have been a transitional champion because,
It's not like he sucked, though.
No.
He beat AJ.
No, he's great. The two will put on a fantastic match, I'm sure. But at the same time, I don't know if they wanted to necessarily do, I don't know, AJ versus Joe for the U.S. title. Maybe by, putting Ricochet in there, it makes something new out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It should be interesting. I'm just glad that the club's a thing again.
Right. Before we go on, we mentioned earlier that maybe the Intercontinental and maybe the women's tag titles might be defended. There was nothing official that I'm aware of, but maybe they will be. Do you want to go ahead and make predictions for those, since we know clearly what the matches would be, like who would be in the match? Do you want to go ahead and make predictions for those in case they happen?
Full retain.
Full retain across the board for those two?
Yes, Iconics retain, Balor retains.
Okay.
I feel like if having an IC title match this quick, I think Balor will just keep it. I don't know. Shinsuke doesn't really have much momentum at the moment. Same with the Kabuki Warriors. I don't know. They've barely done anything with the Iconics. They've done even less with the Kabuki Warriors. So what's the point of changing the titles?
Just to change it up, I'll go with the other predictions. I honestly think that if the Intercontinental title match were to happen, I really think Shinsuke would win it. Don't really know why, but I'll just go with the opposite to keep it fresh. So you've got Iconics. I'll go Kabuki Warriors.
See, I feel like this is the thing that they could possibly build on. Maybe try and stretch it out to where the match doesn't have until SummerSlam.
Right.
And in the weeks leading up, Shinsuke keeps getting the upper hand or the better of Balor, and that just keeps making him angrier and angrier.
He's the demon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could possibly pull out the demon for a big show like that, but mostly that Balor just keeps losing, and it's like, what the heck? I'm the champion. It's like, why can't I beat him?
Right.
And it just makes him angry. Maybe with the factor of the demon is what triggers the double turn.
Could be, yeah.
Shinsuke wins the title at SummerSlam and just gets beaten down so much that he garners sympathy, and Balor becomes the heel.
The old Austin Hart double turn.
Yeah.
The SmackDown Tag Team Championship triple threat. We've got Bryan and Rowan defending against Woods and Big E and Heavy Machinery. Machinery.
It's just a machine.
Got my pick. Do you have yours? I believe it's your turn to go first.
I am going to go with the Planet's champions.
As was I.
Because all of the tag team divisions are pretty much a joke at this point.
Well, I don't know. New Day could win. I don't see why they couldn't. But
I think that's just going to the well too many times. Like they said, they're already 5-time champions.
So
they've barely been a team. They haven't even been a team for 5 years.
Mm-hmm. They have.
Yeah, roughly.
I'm pretty sure.
I think it's like late 2014. They're coming up on 5 years, if not already.
I know that they were a team at Mania 31 at least, so it's been at least 4 years.
31. Yeah, I think so.
They were in the pre-show.
Yeah, I think
they were not over yet.
It was like late 2014.
But
I'm sure.
yeah.
But yeah, the fact that they've already been champions 5 times, I don't know. I think it would be better.
And longest reigning tag champs ever.
Yeah, barely beat them by like a week.
They love to do that. Give someone the new record, and then they're beaten within a week. Look at Nikki Bella.
Literally.
They had her beat AJ's reign, and then she lost the next pay-per-view.
She technically lost before she beat the record, but then a whole bunch of BS let her keep the title for just long enough.
Yeah.
But yeah. What was my point? Oh yeah, I think it would be better for Bryan and Rowan to keep the titles and really establish a long reign.
Yeah. I think they're great as champions. They're great as a tag team.
Try and build up the rest of the division in the next few months, so that way whenever you actually do have a team that is legitimate and people can believe, then they can go up against them and actually take the titles.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's just a crazy concept. If you
right? Build your
if you actually have people that can win and actually make it, not just go by surprise and shock value and then try and coast off that for like another few months. You might actually have a good program.
Right.
Anyhow.
Okay, next up is the SmackDown Women's Championship match. It's a 2-on-1 handicap match. Bayley defending against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Not sure. I mean, I think that if Cross and Bliss win, then Bliss becomes champion. Basically, is what would happen.
Something to that extent.
But I've got my pick, and I've got a reason for it, which we will get on to after we finish the match predictions. Got my pick. Who do you have? Or do you have yours?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going with Bayley retaining.
Same.
Okay.
I think this will finally be the implosion.
As do I.
I think this will be like the thing of Nikki will think that she's won the title, or she'll, or like just something to where it finally triggers the thing in her head where Alexa snaps on her, or just whatever. I don't know. I think I mostly want this to end so that Sasha Banks can come to SmackDown and she feuds with Bayley for the title going to SummerSlam. I would love that.
Yeah.
Is that good enough for you, Sasha?
Right.
Is that good enough for you to come back? A women's title match against Bayley?
The rumor is that how the story's going to go is that Cross is going to be revealed as the one who's manipulating Alexa, not the other way around, which I think would be a cool swerve.
Not gonna lie, I've kind of thought about that.
Yeah. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
If it goes anywhere at all. Okay, 2 more left. Next up is the WWE Championship. Kofi Kingston defending against Samoa Joe. I've got my pick. Do you have yours?
Yes.
Who do you got?
I have Samoa Joe.
So do I.
taking that prestigious title belt.
Well, it was revealed that Kofi is actually dealing with an injury right now.
Supposedly.
Don't know what the injury is or how serious it is. But I'm wondering if that plays a factor into this.
I'm mostly just going into it thinking, like, I think the Kofi train has kind of run its course. Mm-hmm. Like the momentum from WrestleMania and whatnot has kind of died off. Plus, there's a lack of heel champions, honestly. I think that's the main thing. Like, you got Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch over on Raw. You got Finn Balor just being the, smiley good guy. You got Ricochet, another smiley good guy. Iconics are never on TV, so you can't really count that. They
didn't even have their championships with them.
Yeah. You got Daniel Bryan and Rowan, which are, fantastic heels. Mm-hmm. Going with the belts. You got the Revival, I guess, but at the same time, I never see them, so I can't tell if they're doing good or not.
Right.
I mostly just want to see Samoa Joe legitimate.
Right.
Because he can talk, great performer. It's like, why hasn't he been champion this whole time, basically?
Right. Consistently one of the best promos every week.
Which I never really thought of. Like, I remember watching him back in TNA and always being kind of bored with it. Like, he just seemed bland. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's my same problem with Cesaro. Like,
I cannot get into Cesaro.
Same. He has tried so many things, and it's like, I want to like you, Cesaro. Like, I know you're good. I just don't know why.
I can't connect with whatever character he's trying to do.
Exactly.
I can't do it.
Exactly.
And he looks like a goob with his braces. I know that medically he has to have them.
Yeah.
But when they revealed that he was Aleister Black's opponent and he sits down with the mouth guard, takes the mouth guard out, and you can see his braces, I'm like, you do not look like a legitimate opponent.
Yeah. I don't know. If he had done it without the mouth guard, at least, I think that would have been decent. I don't know.
Whatever. Kofi, I feel like the reason I've kind of gone with Joe, or contributing to my decision, they've been showing Kofi on his own for a few weeks. Big E and Xavier have been off doing their tag team thing. They're not often out there all together anymore. I kind of feel like Kofi being out there on his own is going to play into this. He's not going to have the New Day as a backup. Yeah. Which, I mean, should be the case. He's the baby face. So.
Plus, they've been doing a thing recently of Joe choking Kofi out a couple times. So it's like, maybe. So he doesn't necessarily have to lose. Doesn't have to get pinned, doesn't have to submit. But, still lose the title if you pass out.
Right.
So.
Okay, the final match. This is a long one. The Extreme Rules mixed tag team match for both the Universal and Raw Women's Championships.
Last chance, winners take all.
Winners take
mixed
all.
Tag team Extreme Rules match for both the WWE Universal Championship and WWE Raw Women's Championship, according to Wikipedia.
Yes. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch teaming together to defend their titles against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans.
Do we really need to
One
ask?
second. I saw a meme the other day it was just a screenshot, and it was Baron and Lacey like at ringside. I don't remember which show it was from. I think it was from when they announced the match. But someone was like, Baron looks like the manager at an Applebee's, and Lacey is the hostess, and they try to just sneak out of the back room like they weren't back there fooling around together. It was great. But
Yeah. Do we really need to? Do we really?
you want to say it at the same time?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Rollins and Lynch. Yes.
I mean, honestly, like, nobody wants to see Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans as champion, let alone see them at all.
Hell no.
Like,
I don't want to see them at all. Yeah.
you know, they've been trying to get Lacey Evans over as any type of character, any type of threat, and it's just been nonstop, and it's been pretty annoying. Like, she's basically been in the title picture since WrestleMania, and she does not deserve to be there. You're having Raw superstars go for SmackDown titles because you can't get rid of Lacey Evans. Like, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are technically Raw superstars going after Bayley, the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah.
The SmackDown Women's Championship was a main focal point on this week's Raw. How?
Which, for the SmackDown title, you've got Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Ember Moon, Carmella. Those are the 4 that just come to my mind immediately.
You've technically got Charlotte as an option.
Which I have no idea where she's been.
Yeah, which it's kind of been nice though.
Yeah.
Just getting time away. It's like, you know.
But you've got all these people, and you want to take a Raw star.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I think that's also part of the.
I think it's a way to keep Alexa relevant while Becky is tied up with Lacey.
Well, also on this week they had Dana Brooke and Sarah Logan just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I'm still not too high on Dana Brooke, but Sarah Logan looked pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
they made the point that she was a former Riot Squad member, and then she still came out to the Riot Squad music and logo.
Yes.
She not have her own music in NXT that she could come out to?
I don't know.
Liv Morgan did.
Well, Liv Morgan, I think, actually debuted in NXT before she got called up. I don't know if Sarah Logan.
I'm pretty sure she was down there too. But
Liv
Morgan's music was annoying, but at least it was her own music.
Sarah probably had some like thrown together banjo music that, you know, she had.
Well, with all the time she had off, you think they could have come up with something new?
Okay, so on Raw you have Alexa Bliss, Alicia Fox, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Naomi, Natalya, Nia Jax technically out with injury, Nikki Cross, Ronda Rousey inactive, Ruby Riott inactive, Sarah Logan, and Tamina. I could easily see Sarah Logan being thrown in there.
Sarah Logan would be
why can't this Nikki Cross Alexa Bliss thing be happening on Raw? Is that too crazy to think about? Why do we need Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins and Lacey Evans versus Becky Lynch for the millionth time?
I don't think they want to have Becky versus Alexa, because then you then have to put one of them over the other, and they want. It's no secret that they want to push Becky this year, but they also like keeping Alexa looking like a star. So I think if you have to put one over the other, that kind of diminishes one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are ways to book it so they're both fine, but
I also think it's just, you know, the terrible booking over time, like, because Naomi and Natalya, like, they could just be in a backstage segment. They're just together for some reason, but nobody cares. They come out for a match and nobody cares.
Right. Anyway,
on SmackDown, for female competitors. We have Asuka, Bayley, Billie Kay, Carmella, Charlotte, Ember Moon, Kairi Sane, Lana, Liv Morgan?
Forgot about Lana.
Liv Morgan's on SmackDown?
Yep.
I did not know that. Mandy Rose, Mickie James.
She called it SmackDown Liv.
Huh? I don't know. I'm not up to date with things. Mickie James, Peyton Royce, Sonya Deville, and Zelina Vega. It's like...
I'd love to see Zelina Vega go for the title. Now, can you imagine her and Andrade holding titles together?
Whew. I mean, it would be cool.
What is that?
Did you not see how poorly she looked in that mixed tag match? I'm not saying that they couldn't eventually get her there, but
yeah, eventually.
Like right now, no way. She's not a viable good. Ember Moon though, like
yes, Ember Moon. Put her in a freaking
just looking at the list of people, which, by the way, just seeing this and like, how do they think they could have a tag team division for the women? It's like all the women on the main roster together, I'm sure doesn't even equal the same amount as just the Raw male roster.
Probably not.
So it's like, how can you have a female division or tag team division?
Well, these other Frankenstein teams together. You can just put any two women together and call them a tag team.
They could have just brought
Kairi
brought
Sane
up the Sky Pirates and
Kairi...
had Asuka stay as a singles competitor. You know, so she could have actually just stayed champion.
Make them a women's faction, and they can go by Freebird rules. They're all Japanese, right? That's why you put Kairi and Asuka together in the first place.
Pretty much, the Kabuki Warriors.
I'm not going to do that. We still have one more prediction.
Yeah, we'll fix this whenever we do the fantasy booking for the women's division.
So we have our traditional special prediction for the night, which I've got one in mind, and it's pretty risky, but I think it'll be really cool if it happens. How the predictions are going to be rewarded. Normally what we do is 10 points to your roster if you win the predictions. We don't have rosters going right now. We'll start them back up on Season 2, and the predictions will reward us in a little different way. But what this is going to do is it's going to determine who gets to go first in the draft for Season 2 when we pick our rosters for that.
Da-na-na-na.
And as usual, the special prediction will get you 1 point if correct, but if you are wrong, your opponent gets a point. So my prediction is, following the SmackDown Women's title match, Bayley retains. They, Alexa and Nikki may or may not have their implosion on the night, on Extreme Rules night, but I'm predicting Sasha Banks makes her return and begins a feud with Bayley, possibly turning heel in the process.
Heel Banks is way better than face Banks.
Yes.
Not gonna lie.
That is my special prediction.
Oh, that's a good one. Maybe that's all she wanted.
Her being a heel does not factor into whether I win or lose. That's just like, maybe they'll do that too.
Sasha Banks
returns to start a feud with Bayley.
Yes.
Against her, not aligned with her.
Yeah.
I will specify that at least.
I predict that Randy Orton will return to be Aleister Black's next opponent.
Next opponent, huh?
Yeah.
So Aleister Black will beat Cesaro.
He has to.
And then Randy Orton will show up.
Yeah. RKO out of nowhere. So just completely take all of Black's momentum.
So you're predicting Randy Orton returns to start a feud with Aleister Black.
Yes.
Fair enough.
I've heard rumblings that he is due to return soon. So I think, having, putting over Black in the next feud, especially going into SummerSlam, it's going to be a bigger event, so most likely they'll, throw a little money at Randy and
maybe
have him show up. And, he's got no problem, doing a job on a big stage like that. So.
Well, all right. That's all we have time for today, and closing down on an hour. So we're going to cut it here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you give us a subscribe, or give us a like and subscribe.
Just listen to it.
Who cares?
Just listen to it. Just share it. Even if you don't subscribe, just let people.
We need a clear and concise outro. This is so jumbled every time.
If you like wrestling, Like this.
Like, subscribe, share it, listen again. That's all we're asking you to do. Interact with us. Be our second fan.
Exactly.
But yes, we'll be back next week with the Extreme Rules Fallout. Maybe something special. Haven't decided yet. But we will see you next week. Thank you for listening.